Okay guys, so we're going to continue. Diyu, as soon as you finish to place the springs and the brackets on the fans, then we're going to try to arrange the main parts exactly like they are here on the sample,
Okay.
or pretty similar way, because we have to mark the holes
Yes.
to have everything in place. We cannot do wiring if we didn't mark the holes. Okay? So take your time to just finish to assemble the two fans, and in the meantime I'm going to focus on Rodney.
Okay.
As soon as we finish, I'm coming back.
Okay.
We good?
Good.
Rodney, your turn. Okay? So here, as you can see on the interface here, there are numbers. The bottom row is only containing odd numbers, okay? And the top is containing even numbers. In the way the wiring is already done, here on the pin 16 of the terminal block is going to be the ground coming from the outputs of the PLC. And because it's coming here in the top, we have to leave it here, this wire at the end, because we have to put first the wires underneath and then the wire which comes in the top. So for the 8 wires remaining here in the bottom is because we have 8 wires simply because we have 8 outputs. Okay? So if we take a look here together, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 commons. This is simply because the manufacturer says, hey, you don't have to control all outputs from the same voltage. If you decide to have some outputs connected to 24, some others to 12 volts, some others to AC 120, then you have a common for each group of 1, 2. Okay? But because we want to control everything from our output trainer from 24, we have to link all these commons together.
Okay.
For the common, we're going to use a black wire. Okay? And first thing we're going to do, we have to make the jumpers between these commons. And as you can see, there are also 2 rows of terminals, top and bottom. Okay? And as you can see, the commons are marked in the bottom. Okay? So here, what do we need? We need a short wire here, so we cut it. We need from here to here. We need another identical one, we cut it. And there is another one just a bit longer from here to here. We cut it like this. And then from any of them, let's say from the closest one, from here, you need a wire which is eventually coming right here. At the end I said we're going to put it on the pin 16, exactly. Okay, so we cut it. So now, this is a set of wires only for the ground. Actually, not for the ground, for the common, for the outputs. So you need to cut another set, okay? Because we have two controllers to prepare. Because during this time, Diyu is working on the output trainers already. So cut another set, exactly the same length. So use this one as a sample for the 2, then this one for another one. And then we're going to put some spade connectors on them. This is going to be some repetitive work because we're going to keep doing this for a while. But exactly as it happened before with the screws and the holes and everything, somebody has to do it. Perfect. Yeah. One longer required. Yeah, that's it. So now, I'm showing you how to do this. Yeah, pick it up. You see, on the side where we have the outputs, we only need a space. So with your Phillips screwdriver, it doesn't matter, these PLC are nice. So you can use any screwdriver you have at hand. We're going to unscrew them a bit. Okay. So just to show you, that this is the size of the spade connector coming in. Okay, so when this one is underneath, like here, just a second. Okay. You see, it's exactly the size. Okay. So now, how do we work with that? On one side is going to have the spades, but when it's going to enter here we don't need the spades, we need ferrules. Okay. So first, on each end of the wires, actually, the short ones are coming here. Both need spades. So all the short wires need spades. The only wire needing a ferrule is the long one.
Okay.
So I'm starting with the long wire because it's going to have a spade only on one side. So I'm showing you how to do it. Okay. Stripper. We strip it out, let's say 1/4 of an inch, no longer, like this. Okay. And then we pick up the crimping tool, and you notice here there are 3 colors: red, blue, and yellow. These are actually the colors of those. So this one you don't put it in blue, okay, because you won't strip it, you won't crimp it properly. Okay. So how do you do it? You align it here exactly on the edge of the red. Okay. You just hold it to not fall down. Okay. And then you put this one inside. You are gonna feel when the plastic is touching. Okay. And then, in the moment you do, this lever is going to fall over the connector. So you have to bring it back. You remove it from here. Done. I do one more. This one. Because these are the only ones having only one end exactly the spade. So you see, we do this, and then we do that, and then we put it in the hole. So this is done. And now just to make sure, because the wiring we're using is gauge 20, this one is gauge 20, I'm gonna bring here let me see if we can even use this one. So this is a ferrule. Only this one, it needs a ferrule on this side. So you need to split it on a longer distance. So you plug it here inside. So you have to prevent having whiskers out of it. You pick up the other crimper. It's very nicely made. So you put it right here in the middle. Done. Okay, it's as easy as that. Okay, so just to practice with this, you only need one ferrule here, and all the others they only need spades
on both sides.
Exactly. This is the only one needing a ferrule.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, take your time to do it. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So now, if we consider the sample here, let's say we pick up the covers because the covers also need some room. The position of it. The approximate position, just to know how much room is required. Yeah, so something like that is right. No, stop. Has to be perfectly parallel. Okay. Don't mark anything. Okay. Pick up the other one, the emergency switch now. Exactly. So the emergency switch in the 2 covers, we put it like that. Exactly, the approximate position, because we don't know yet what's going to be the final simply because the parts you've got are much nicer than the ones I've got, and they take less room. Okay, so let's say it's going to be something like this to be similar to these ones. Okay,
Yes.
then we pick up the interface, this one, and it was coming next after, just to see how this is going on.
Okay. This one.
Then exactly the terminal block somewhere there. Then you have your fan,
Yes. I see it.
exactly any of these. So this is going to be oriented something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good. And then it's going to be the whole block with exactly with the power supply, the flat relays, and the big one, something like that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have the motor. Okay. So the motor, we just pick the motor, just to have it in place to
Okay.
see the approximate position of it, where the moving part has to be out of the board. Okay.
Okay.
So just to make sure, it's going to be something like that. So in my opinion, even if your boxes for the pilot lights are narrower than the one I found,
Yes. It's narrow.
it's narrower. I don't think you're gonna still have enough room for a second fan. You see this? Because otherwise it becomes,
It's need
too
a space.
exactly. You need some space. Okay. So this is the reason why we're going to consider the approximate position, something like that. Okay. You just have to make sure they are approximately parallel with the sides. Okay. Because what we are going to measure distances to make sure you can easily mount the second one as easy as this one, you see? So this is 1.5 inch from the side,
Okay. Wow.
just to make sure until you find the first row of holes, okay? So when this one is aligned like this, now we can keep it in place and you can mark the holes, okay? Yeah, there was a pencil somewhere. Let me see.
Where is it here?
Right here. Okay. So I'm holding it. Take your time to mark the holes. That's it, one by one. So we know our mark is 1.5 inches from the side. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do something similar for this one. You see, we align the cover at the same level as this one to look nice. So you can mark the two holes. And we leave it here, okay? Now, for this one, we cut exactly a DIN rail. And it's going to be exactly in that position here. So let's see how is this going to be aligned. Is going to be aligned similar to that. So let's say it's something like that here. This one is here. Okay. So we remove the whole block and we only mark one hole. This is in the bottom here. Right here. Okay, we only mark this one, okay? Because then we have to see where it is parallel or not, okay? While keeping this one in the top, then we center approximately the terminal block between the two, and we can bring it somewhere here, and we have to remove the plastic cover because this one we're going to replace at the end. Okay, so for we're going to do the same. We only mark one hole, this one here. Okay, and now you can mark the holes for the fan. Okay, so far so good. And this one has to come somehow like this, so you can mark the 4 holes of it. I don't need these ones anymore. Good. So once we did that, we need to figure the position for the second hole of this one. Yeah, this one is after we drill the first one. So you have an easy task right now to do. Remove everything from it, out of it. And for the holes already marked for that wood board, don't worry about it. You're going to try to do the same on the second one because the boards are identical. Okay?
Yes.
And we want, when we start drilling it,
Oh, this one didn't
to have
work.
something similar. No, that's exactly the same.
Uh-oh.
So, give me a second to bring the second one from here, because this is yours. Put it back in the box. I want to make sure if there is any little discrepancy, nothing is going to be wrong. So, remember, it was 1.5 inches.
Yes.
Pencil. Thank you. So 1.5 inches, and somewhere here is going to be the first hole. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that reason, use a line, something like that. Okay. So this is going to be the position for that's it. Very good. So we can mark these ones. And now we can mark the rest.
Okay.
When you have them done, I'm coming with the drilling machine and we can start to prepare the rest. So far so good?
Okay. Good.
I'm coming to bring the drilling machine. Anyway, I think that your break is almost over. So, can you come back a bit later?
Yes, I can.
Sure. So I'm gonna wait for you later on.
Okay.
Okay, guys? Rodney?
Sure.
Thank you, guys. See you later. We good?